"Have you made the butter ready?" the old man asked his wife, his voice gentle but weary from years of hard work. "Yes, I have," his wife replied, handing him the container with a small smile. She knew how important this butter was for their livelihood. He took the butter container and headed to the grocery store. The sun was just rising, casting a golden hue over the small village. When he arrived, there were a lot of people at the grocery store, so the old man stood aside and waited patiently for them to leave. A few minutes later, the grocery store became empty, and the grocer called out to him, "Have you brought your butter?" "Yes," the old man replied, stepping forward. "I'd like to weigh your butter container today," the grocer said, eyeing the old man suspiciously. He put the container on a scale and frowned. "It is not 1 kilo," he said indignantly. "You know we have only one cow. My wife makes butter as much as our cow milks," the old man explained, a hint of desperation in his voice. "I never weighed your butter container because I trusted you, but you took advantage of my trust," the grocer retorted, crossing his arms. "No, I didn't. We have a scale at home to weigh the milk," the old man said, his voice growing firmer as he defended his integrity. The grocer put the butter container on the counter and said, "I won't buy butter from you anymore. There are many people here who want to sell their butter to me." The old man murmured, "This is our source of income," then took the container and left the store. He walked back home slowly, the weight of the container seeming heavier with each step. When he returned home, he placed the butter container on the table with a sigh. His wife watched in surprise. "What has happened? Why have you brought back the butter? Why didn't you sell it?" "He doesn't buy our butter anymore. He thinks we have deceived him all these years," the old man said, his shoulders slumping. His wife shook her head in disbelief. "I can't understand. Today he weighed the butter container, and it was 900 grams instead of 1 kilogram. He said, 'I won't buy your butter. Don't bring them here,'" the old man explained, his voice tinged with sorrow. The woman sat down on a chair, staring at the butter container. "How can we procure our daily necessities?" The old man sat down beside his wife, placing his hand over hers. "Don't worry. I will seek work tomorrow." "Work? There are many unemployed people here. Who is hiring you?" his wife asked, her voice filled with concern. "Not only here. I'll go to the villages around our village as well," the old man said with determination. "We'd better sell the cow," his wife suggested reluctantly. "No, it's not a good idea. I promise you I'll get a job," the old man reassured her. The man looked for work for a few days and finally found a job as a shepherd. He had to take sheep to graze. On his way to the grazing area, there was a fruit garden. Most of the trees in the garden were cherry trees, and there were also two other trees, one apple and the other pear. The owner of the fruit garden was a very greedy and stingy man. The garden was managed by a young gardener who had a pregnant wife, a fact the garden's owner wasn't aware of. The garden's owner went to the garden for inspection every day, counting the number of apples and pears and writing down the numbers in his notebook. One day, the gardener's wife told her husband, "I have a craving for one apple and one pear. Can you pick them for me?" The gardener hesitated. "The garden's owner counts them every day. He knows the number of fruits." His wife looked at the fruits longingly and said, "You toil for these trees, but have no right to pick one fruit?" Moved by her words, the gardener picked one apple and one pear for her. The next day, the garden's owner came for inspection and began to count the fruits as usual. When he finished, he cried irritably, "One pear and one apple are missing." The gardener panicked. Sir, you might have made a mistake yesterday. I watch the garden very well. I won't let anybody come into the garden. The greedy man pondered and then said, Maybe. The next day, again, the gardener's wife asked for fruits, and her husband picked them for her. When the garden's owner asked about the missing fruits, the gardener answered, Sir, yesterday I noticed that a shepherd and his herd of sheep passed by here quickly. Fruits fell down, and the sheep ate them. A few days passed, and it continued the same way until the last day when the greedy man waited for the poor shepherd to pass by. When the shepherd and the herd wanted to pass, the greedy man blocked their path and said, You have to compensate for the loss of my fruits. The old man looked at him quizzically. What loss? The loss of my fruits. Whenever you and the herd pass by, the fruits fall from their trees, the greedy man said, adding, You must pay the compensation right now. I have no money to pay, the old man said. Then I will take a sheep, the garden's owner declared, moving towards the herd to choose one. The shepherd pleaded, The sheep are not mine. I am just a shepherd. Please don't take them. If you take them, I don't know what to say to their owner. Please, I will lose my job. No matter how much the old man entreated, the greedy man insisted on taking one. A stranger who was watching them stepped forward and said, I heard everything. Don't touch the sheep. I'll pay the compensation. The greedy man outstretched his hand and said, Then pay it. The intelligent man replied, Not today. I'll pay you tomorrow at the same time. If you don't show up tomorrow, who will give the compensation? The garden's owner asked. I promise I will come. If I don't appear, then take a sheep, the man said. The greedy man accepted it and left. The man said, Tomorrow, be here at the same time. The next day, the intelligent man waited for the fruit garden's owner near a tree. When the greedy man arrived, he drew a line near the tree and showed the plot to the greedy man. I will put coins on the branches of the tree. To obtain the coins, you must run fast. You must run so fast that the coins fall down. But remember, never cross this line. Very well, the greedy man said, and started to run fast. Coins fell down one by one, and the greedy man ran so fast that there were no coins left on the tree. Exhausted, he dragged himself into the shade. The intelligent man went near the tree, picked up the coins, and put them in his pocket. Those are my coins. Why did you put them in your pocket? The greedy man demanded. You told us the fruits fell from the trees. Did the shepherd pick the fruits? The man asked. The gardener said his sheep ate them, the greedy man said. Did your gardener saw the sheep ate the fruits? No, he didn't see. The greed answered. Then I paid the compensation for the fallen fruits, the man said. He then went to the shepherd and said, The losses have been paid. Now you can go. I think the sheep are hungry.